Modern magic is a mix of the old and the new. So today, Wild Ones, I want to take you with me and meld the two together. My hope is that this authentic expression of my craft this Yule inspires your own. My name is Heather Lynn, and I am the Wild Woodland Witch. Subscribe if you feel inclined, and click the bell for future videos in folk green and, of course, wild magic too. Today's video is also a collaboration with the lovely Aurora from Lavendar Hazelwood Witches. I fell in love with Aurora's recent aesthetic style vlogs and her sweet little dog. I feel a deep sense of authenticity within her videos, and I recommend her channel to you, Wild Ones. I will leave her information below for you to check out, so you can consider subscribing to her channel as I have. And now, let's begin. With the last of the fall leaves, I harvest the spirit of the fox to take me through the transition to winter. A cunning creature I will need for this journey ahead. I want to ask you a question, Wild Ones. How do you feel as we're approaching Yule? All around us we hear cheerful music and we see happy, joyful crafting in preparation for gift giving. But what is really happening in nature? Yule comes with many traditions and many feelings too. It is a time of year that is vulnerable. Our ancestors felt this, and we can see evidence of that in the crafts they made and the traditions they left behind. And while it is a jolly time indeed, it is also a time of quiet, a restful time of slowing down, catching one's breath, and even catching up on sleep. For some, this forced energy from nature upon us, this grounding, it's not a comfortable feeling, and it can stir up emotions. So we go inward, and as we do this, we bring in plants that protect the home. We bring in the holly and the hawthorn. We bring in the power of evergreen to combat the feeling of vulnerability. I mean to channel Her Majesty, the evergreen strength when I craft with her, as this will aid me as I experience the deep emotions that are stirred up from the winter solstice, the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The sun will be reborn, and each day that passes, her light will shine more, till the summer solstice, during the day, all the while taking me emotionally with her from winter to spring. Here I am facing these feelings and arming my home with many protection charms and spells that will guard my family. This folk magic has served me well, and I wanted to share a bit about what I am doing in each of these crafts that you will see. Here, you will see my traditional wreath making and sigils for protection on eucalyptus leaves. And I am asking the energy of the crescent moon to be with us as we experience deep emotions in this home. Wreaths symbolize the sun, the power of the evergreen for strength, and my own spin on this is eucalyptus. I only know her as gentle, patient, and this rise of power through that patience, so I felt drawn to her this year. I can read these leaves anytime I wish. They are filled with my intentions and magical symbols and hang upon my door. The beauty of the Yule tree. The color green fills the witch's heart with a message. Here I stand to remind you of abundance. You are a warrior. For our ancestors, the Yule tree was a reminder that the sun will return and abundance will follow. Let's start with some folk magic. Let's craft a holly and hawthorn door charm. Hawthorn spikes are fierce. Hawthorn is the plant of the heart, and a witch's heart can always use her tender ways in winter. Holly was a berry of great power to our ancestors. They saw the berry as a wonder, a marvel, for the berries remained all winter long red and ripe. Fertility and everlasting life they were seen as protective and powerful. A great way to make room for the new that will come this spring is to clear out the old, and winter is that time to clear it out, to face what is no longer needed, the old, and sweep it away. So let the sun return. This idea of the sun's return, though not felt for many months here, is an idea that lifts my spirits. So let's channel this warmth and brilliance of the sun and craft this positive light, the idea of the sun's return, into a wee little candle. I can't think of a sunnier, more uplifting fruit than these tiny clementines. These little beeswax candles will become tiny gifts and can also be a tiny bit of joy, used as reminders of the sun's return to be lit when needed from now until the spring. For hope is what heals during this time for those who feel the loss of the sun. Has anyone told you it's okay to be sad or feel alone during this time? Has anyone let you feel the true nature of the winter herself? This is a time of inward, and what is inward might not be all sunshine and rainbows. So know you are not alone if you feel a bit blue during this time. It's actually quite normal. I did want to also encourage anyone who should need help to consider more than witchcraft as a tool. Psst. Aurora's Yule video from Lavendar Hazelwood Witches is available for you, and the link will appear above should you wish to visit her and find more inspiration. And onward we go to make some larger beeswax candles. I used oriental spruce and some fairy dust to form my 4 candles for my Yule log that sits on my altar. I made many to share with friends as well. Here you can see my process, set with the rune for protection and using the holly berries too. Crafting in my intentions with the ingredients, incantations, and sacred oil. Each candle is made to represent the 4 weeks leading up to Yule. Each candle represents a part of the earth. The first, the mineral kingdom. The second, the plant kingdom. The third, the animal kingdom. And then the fourth, human nature. As I burn each candle down through the weeks leading up to Yule, I honor each one of these kingdoms. To set the intention for these candles, I focus and set the stage for a ritual. Some of that is here, some is too personal to share. This oil is a tool I picked up from an occult store called the Modern Druid, and it's been my main oil of focus for spell work and crafting as Yule rises. If you want to see the video where I discover the oils and the short clip on how these oils were formed or created by the owner, it's the video I posted before this one. I'd also really like the energy of the dandelion to be present, so I'm just gonna let her be with us. If you've been in my channel before, you know that it is quite rare for my altar to actually be in one place. As a wild magic practitioner, I have mini altars kind of all over my home, but I was inspired this year to consolidate, so let's tour my winter altar. Every piece has a purpose, and many items that are personal to me fill the space. My grandmother's medicine bottle, her buttons, my grandfather's harmonica, and more. Ancestors, mine, who've passed on. I use runes, and I've been experimenting recently with Ogham as a divination tool and for looking within.
So I'm not always lucky to have snow when I'm celebrating Yule. So I wanted to show you this magical tree. It's the only tree left in the park that is fully dressed for fall. I'm gonna do some wishes there.
If you saw my last video on tools, you heard me say tools should be worn. So let's craft something to wear to work with this Yule. A little robin's eggshell, part of my hive, and elements that come together with incantation and written word. Wearable spells are uplifting, and I will say all of the elements of my spells and crafts this Yule provide continual work, as for example, brushing up against the charm on my door. It activates the spell again and again and again. When I, for example, light my Yule candles each night at my altar and see my wreath every time I enter my home, all of this reawakens the power of the spell, and that is folk magic. This crown has so many elements of magic. Let's explore. The elements in this crown came and found me. All I did was collect them, stick them on a shelf, and then waited for the inspiration to strike. And that's what wild magic is indeed.
I don't know if you could hear the sweet little chipmunk sounds in the background. I've gone down and visited them, and I feel like Snow White today. But I'm loving these antlers. The longer I wear them, the more of that reindeer-esque type spirit I'm feeling. And it's just, it's so interesting. I had no idea that was gonna happen. Very, very powerful, very cool. It's like, I just love method acting. I feel like I didn't intend to do it. It wasn't intentional, so I guess it's not method acting, but that just shows the power of magical crafting, because I am just living into this. Wild ones, living for this.
And now, my wild ones, Yule would not be Yule without a Yule log to eat and one to burn. So sit back and relax while I tell you the history of both. Let's begin with a baked Yule log. It is just so easy to make. I use some inspiration from the Instagram and blogger Must Love Herbs, and her information is below for you. If you're a holiday baker, you will adore her feed and her recipes. Eye candy of witchy bakes for the soul. So here I am giving it a go. A baked Yule log can be the bûche de Noël, which is a French cake, or the Swiss roll, which is from Switzerland, and it's traditionally made for Yule. As people moved into cities and fireplaces became scarce, a baked Yule log replaced the traditional Yule log. They say that the first Yule log cake was made in Paris by the man who invented buttercream. That dear, dear man. Some say curse him, but I will bite my tongue. it's delicious. Be that as it may, the Yule log in cake form is best known for its decor. I made these mushrooms from marzipan and painted them with plant-based food dye. I love the natural colors and lifelike quality. I am obsessed with mushrooms, so this made me so happy. I think it came out great. My boys ate it all in 24 hours. And so, wild ones, for the final craft, I give you my version of a true Yule log. Long ago, our ancestors would pick out a sacred tree. The whole family would cut it down and drag it into the hearth. The whole tree. She would live there for days in the living room as she burned and died, filling the home with a reminder of warmth and power, that the sun will return again, and the goodness of the land was evergreen, ever present in their lives. The reason for a Yule log varied, but the custom spread all over Europe, and the end of the log would be saved to light the following year's log. And so I leave you, wild ones, and wish you a happy Yule. May your practice be what it needs to be, and the tools you need to practice find you. May your magic be blessed, and the season that is upon us be seen for what it is. Yes, joy, but more emotions that we shall face, and we may not face what is to come alone. I wish you the strength of an evergreen as the Yule log burns in your fireplace. If you would like to watch her finish burning, you are most welcome to for the next 30 seconds. And my dears, come and find me again.